Food in Albania is amazing. I love it. I love the Albanian food. They have amazing juice. The juice in Albania, like, rocks American juice. It's real juice. They have pear juice and peach juice and apricot juice, apple juice, green apple juice, just so good. Pineapple juice and cherry juice and banana juice, all fresh squeezed. They have this thing called Fanta Exotic, which we don't get in the States. And it's amazing. I can't really describe what it tastes like. It's like candy that's been crushed up and put in a soda. It's really good. It's very Mediterranean. So, you know, when you think Albanian food, think bread and olives and olive oil and, you know, tomatoes, pasta and cheese. It's amazing. There's a lot of fresh vegetables there. You know, you go out and there's like outdoor markets everywhere and people are selling their fresh veggies. It's delicious. Same with fruits. The fruits there are so fresh, so good. Albanians eat bread with every meal, and their bread's amazing. It's 30 cents a loaf, you know, and you just get these big, awesome loaves of bread. They're hard on the outside and soft on the inside. They love Nutella, so they'll just slather the bread with Nutella and they'll give that to you. They have like bakeries. They call them pasticcerie, and that's where they sell their like pastries. They make a croissant and they'll stuff it with chocolate and then douse it in powdered sugar. It's so good. They make like a 3 milk cake. They make baklava. So good. Their fast food is not like our fast food. Their fast food consists of this pastry called burek, and you take like phyllo dough, like really thin dough, and you layer it up and put butter in between, and then you can put all sorts of fillings in it, like cheese or spinach or tomatoes and onions, meat, whatever you want, and then you put more layers on top and you bake it all. And you can buy a huge chunk of it like that for like 30 cents and you eat that. Or they have this amazing thing called a souvlaki. It's like a gyro. You take a pita and you spread like the white sauce on it, you know, and then they put the lamb's meat on that they've had on the spit, and then the greens and the onions and everything. And you know, that's what we think of when we think gyro. But they'll make homemade French fries and put that on top and then smother it in ketchup and mustard and then try and wrap it up. But it's so big and full, they'll give you a little plastic fork to eat it with. And that's their fast food. You know, you can get a big souvlaki for $1. It's amazing. So good. As for like more traditional dishes that they've eaten forever, you can get like bean soup, kind of very similar to what we have here. They call it fasule, which just means beans. And it was deemed the poor man's food, but it's really good. It's filling and it's hearty and it's healthy. It's like 40, 50 cents for an average sized bowl of beans, of fasule. They have pilaf, lots of rice. Greek salads, which are like the tomatoes and the cucumbers with the onions, put in olive oil and vinegar and salt and pepper, maybe some white cheese and olives, and mix it all up and eat it. They make French fries. They're really good. Chicken is a decent staple there. Nothing spicy, you know, but very hearty. I was walking in Tirana once with my companion, and it was the middle of the day, and there was a 12-year-old, and there were people everywhere. I don't know what he was thinking. And he walks up to me, and he pulls out a switchblade, and he points it at me. He's like right up on me, points at me. He looks up at me, and I stop, I look at him, I give him this confused look, because I'm thinking, there are people everywhere. What are you doing? And he comes up like here on me. And I'm really tall compared to the Albanians. Like I see above everyone's heads. Usually no one messes with me because I'm so tall. And he looks up at me and he's like, "Give me your money." And I go, I don't have any money. Like I had like a few dollars worth of lek. Really nothing super valuable. And I'm like, what do you want? He's like, "Give me your money." And I'm like, "I'm not going to give you my money because 1, you're like 12. 2, there are people everywhere." And at this point, I think he understands I'm not going to give him any money. I'm just like talking to the kid, and he gets kind of confused and he kind of falters a little bit. My companion's just standing there watching this whole thing, you know, unsure of what to do. And eventually the kid just like gets really embarrassed and like pulls the knife away and slips it in his pocket and just walks off. And I'm like, that was the weirdest thing. Like, I think he tried to mug me. And it took me a while to grasp, I think, that he was trying to mug me. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I was honestly confused. It was weird. I had another companion who a guy actually like pulled a gun on him, and he got out of that. There is crime. There's plenty of crime. The Albanian mafia, it exists. Trafficking exists. And honestly, when you're a foreigner, you're a target. So it's good to exercise common sense. I was never in any like real danger when I was in Albania. I always felt safe. But it hasn't always been the case. A sister missionary I knew, within her first week, she was walking down the street and she had her purse right here on her arm, and a boy comes flying by and bam, takes the purse and shoots off. It had her passport in it and her credit cards and everything was in it. That was a big fiasco to work out. So, keep those very valuable things safe. Lock them away in your apartment. Don't carry them around with you. Wallets being stolen out of the backs of your pockets, very common. It's huge, especially on the bus. I had a front wallet that I put in my front pocket. It had a card holder and like a little clip that I put my money in. It's much harder to pickpocket out of the front pocket. And so I always kept that. I was fine. Whenever I got on a bus, I had a backpack on, I would like throw one of the loops off my shoulder and tuck it under my arm, so no one could zip it open and start rummaging behind me while I was standing there. In the insanely crowded bus, don't go out into alleyways in the middle of the night. Don't go near crazy drunk people. Don't go near bars, and don't get involved with, gangs and things like that while you're there. They do exist. Albanian people, they've been through a lot. They've been conquered so many times, and then they had to go through communism, and they're bouncing back, which is amazing. They have severe resilience, and it's so admirable. Because of everything that they've had to go through, they have these walls that they'll put up, like walls of, fake toughness, and you got to break through those walls and get their trust. But when you do, you find out they're the gooeyest people on the inside. They will love you and stand by you and then feed you. They'll give you the decorations off their wall if you like them. They're so kind and welcoming. Once you can, get past that outer shell that they've learned to develop with foreigners and outside people. Usually the way it works in Albania is it's like a patriarchy. The man is the man of the house. He says the rules, and what he says goes. And he goes out and works and gets the bread, and the woman stays home and cleans and cooks and raises the kids. Like that's how it works there. The amount of women in Albania who are, working women and business women and, girls who are very, I guess, women power, kind of thing. They're there, I'm not saying they're not, but they're definitely the minority when it comes to the general culture of it all. When you go into someone's house, you take your shoes off, always. You don't walk around with your shoes on. They'll give you little slippers because they don't want your feet to freeze. They have tile floors. There's no carpet there. And so you go in, you take your shoes off, they'll give you little slippers and you put them on. I wore some bright pink slippers, they'll have little Barbies on them. And it's great. It's a sign of respect for you, from them. And as such, you need to, show respect to the man as well, because that's his position. He's the lord of the house when you're in his home. The family is key to them. Loyalty to the family. Protect your own. Watch out for your neighbors. Be good to each other. That's really what they strive to be, and I think that's really respectable. If you're a redhead, they're going to touch your hair, and they're going to be like, whoa, and you freak out at it, The boys like to go like Jersey Shore style and, trim up the sides really short and get like the fake mohawk, wear the chains. They love Jersey Shore style, look really tan. The girls do whatever they can to, flaunt, and they wear high heels everywhere. And the women, when they reach a certain age, they become nunnas, they become grandmothers. They start to wear all black, when their husband passes away, and then they will live with their children and cook for them and clean and make clothes out of yarn, and they just become nunnas. They become grandmas. And then when the men grow up and become grandpas, we call them jaji. They'll get a big beard belly and, just chill and talk to you about communism. And you'll see them playing chess in the parks, and that's really when they get to chill and not work. They'll start to rely on their children to take care of them. And so it's not uncommon to see a whole family, 3 generations living in one house, the grandparents to the parents to their kids. Albanian language is one of the harder languages to learn in the world. It's ancient. it goes back so far. And the really interesting thing about it is it forms its own branch on the Indo-European tree. It's not Romantic, it's not Germanic, it's Albanian. You know, it's not related to anything. There's this cool map you can look up online, and it's got like all the languages clumped together, you know, and how they're related. And then there's Albanian just sitting by itself. So really, if you have the privilege to learn Albanian, it's unlike anything in the world. It's really cool. They've got 36 letters as opposed to 26 in English. They use the Roman alphabet, and so we don't have to learn any weird, like, you know, Cyrillic symbols, but they'll take letters and combine them, and they'll make different sounds. It's really neat. The language is essentially made to where you can get as much communication out in the shortest amount of time possible. So not only do they speak quickly, but just a few little syllables could mean this huge long sentence in English. And so they can communicate very quickly with each other and get feelings and ideas across. That being said, they're not as detail-oriented as English is. We have like 5 different terms for beautiful, pretty, gorgeous, cute. You know, they have like 1 or 2. You know, that's the idea. They say it, that's the feeling, you know. So they can't describe many things in like lots of detail, but you'll get what they're saying very quickly. Once you start to grasp it, you'll love it. Like, it's addictive. The language is addictive. For like a fun little lesson now, like hello is Chikemi. And then you could say Sieni, which is how are you? And someone would say Mir, which means good. And then they could say Poyu Sieni you. What about you? And you could say, oh, Mir, ja, Mir. Faleminderit. I'm good, thank you. You could say goodbye to that person. Mirupavshim. And Mirupavshim literally means may we get seen well together. I think the language is beautiful. It has these nuances and meanings that once you grasp it, you'll just be like, that is so cool, you know? Like Mirupavshim, may we get seen well together. That sounds so much cooler than, bye, you know? And Chikemi, which means hi, means what do we have? You walk up to someone, you say, what do we have? And then they say, good, we have good. You know? Communication in Albanian is fun. I think that's the best way to describe it. When you get it, it's fun.